This video is brought to you by America First Insight. Help support the growing conservative movement by becoming a member today. And if you want to support this channel, you can also use the code REAL when becoming a member. Thank you and enjoy the video. You know, every time I talk about the Republican Party, I ask myself, how the hell is this party still alive? I mean, I'm being dead serious. This party should be dead. There is no reason that a party can be this incompetent, yet by some miracle survive. Not just survive, no, actually thrive. Now, I know there's a bunch of reasons why this is happening. Obviously, the Democrat Party's gone batshit crazy, which makes Republicans look better by default. But that doesn't mean people like the Republican Party or agree with what they're saying. And let's be honest here. If it wasn't for the fact that Democrats have gone absolutely insane and, well, Republicans have President Trump putting the team on his back. If it wasn't for those two things, you could argue that this party would be dead. It should be dead. But no, the Republican Party got so lucky that the Democrat Party went off a cliff, and they just so happen to have President Trump run for president with them. That's the only reason this party is alive. And for those that think I'm lying, look at what happened in 2008 and 2012. The Republican Party got absolutely crushed. They lost all the swing states, and I know you could argue, well, that's because George Bush was unpopular. I get that, but even in 2012, there was no reason to do as bad as Mitt Romney did. He did awful, lost all the key swing states, lost a popular vote by like 3, and the only reason Republicans even had the House in 2010, 2012, 2014 was because, hey, those elections they won those House seats in, no one voted in them. It had like 5% turnout, and the only people that voted were old-ass white people, which everyone knows. I talked a lot of this channel about. Lower turnout 10 years ago helped the Republicans. That's why, yeah, they were able to win 2010, but they could never win 2012 because they were praying for 5% turnout, because they know if more than 5 people voted, they're done. They had no pathway to victory, and that's why Republicans for years lost everything. When it mattered the most, they lost every year. But now, the Republicans right now have a trifecta. They have the Senate, they have the House, and of course, they have the presidency. And what have they done? Nothing. This majority that we got is so worthless that they have done absolutely nothing in the last couple of months. Nothing. In fact, when Republicans had the House in 2023 and 2024, they actually did more to help President Biden than they have done so far to help President Trump. You can't make this up. It's like, wait, what? So, when Republicans have a trifecta, they do nothing. But when Republicans have one chamber, just one, they give Democrats everything they want and then some? Really? That's the state of the GOP. And that's why people are furious. And I'm not exaggerating, by the way. Rasmussen conducted a brand new poll of just Republican voters. These are just Republican voters. And 60% of voters agreed with this statement. Republicans in Congress are not delivering on the mandate given to them by the American people. 60%. That's as of now. And things are going to get even worse if this party does nothing. And only 31% disagreed with that statement. So it's a clear majority. Everyone is saying this party sucks. They're doing nothing. And they're not wrong. This Congress has passed nothing. I can't think of a single thing they have done this session of note. Yes, they did pass the Lake and Riley Act, but that was basically before Trump got in office. That doesn't count. I'm talking about when Trump's in the White House, what have they passed? They passed nothing. None of the Doge stuff. They've codified none of the executive orders. Hell, it took a Democrat congressman to suggest, hey, maybe we should codify Trump's executive order on the big pharma stuff. Yeah, it took a Democrat to propose that, not a Republican. No, a Democrat is saying we should pass Trump's executive order on big pharma. We should codify it. You can't make this up. In fact, Republicans, they're pushing back on the pharma stuff. It's like, what? So, you're telling me that a Democrat from California, Ro Khanna, who's a good guy, but he's still a Democrat, he is doing more to help Trump's agenda than this conservative majority, the Republican majority, whatever you want to call it. That's the state of the GOP. It takes a Democrat to propose this, but none of the Republicans can propose anything. Actually, they can propose stuff that will never pass. It's worthless. It's nothing that matters. It's like, why? Why can't this party do anything correct? You have a trifecta for a reason. The American people trusted, I would say just trusted Trump, but they said, okay, we got to give Trump a real majority in the House and the Senate. So we may not like you, but you better pass what he wants to pass, or we're done. And right now, this party is passing nothing. They can't pass anything worth a damn. And that's why they are underperforming Trump according to any metric. You look at the approval polls, and yeah, Trump's below water, but the GOP as a whole is below water by like 15 points, which compared to Democrats, that's not that bad, but still, they're underperforming Trump in the polling, in the favorability, in the approval. Every metric, they are losing compared to President Trump. That's the problem. It's because Trump is actually doing something. A lot of people may disagree with some of it, but he's actually doing something. He is doing what he promised to do. He said, we're going to make radical change happen, and that's what's happening. This is radical change. This is what people voted for. Republicans, meanwhile, they can't do anything. They can't pass anything. They can't do anything worthwhile. And they wonder why they're unpopular. It's utter insanity that this party has learned nothing. They've truly learned nothing in the last 10 to 15 years. But of everything they have done in the last couple of months, the biggest mistake they have made is their messaging. Listen, I don't care what you think about the GOP, like what they've not done in Congress. That's one thing. That's bad enough. But their messaging in the last couple of weeks especially, I have never seen anything this pathetic. I have no clue who they're trying to appeal to, but to me, it is a middle finger to every single Trump voter, what they're saying. Now, the big stink really started yesterday, but it's been bad for a couple of weeks now, but yesterday, they posted 2 tweets in particular that everyone's making fun of and ridiculing for a good reason, because it is so out of touch. And when you factor in what they've been saying for many weeks now about, oh, the average American is lazy. Even Mike Johnson said a couple weeks ago, oh, the American people are lazy. We got to get them off the couch. They got to work 80 hours a week. That's what they're saying.
The dignity of work to young men who need to be out working instead of playing video games all day. We have a lot of fraud, waste, and abuse in Medicaid. Just one tiny example.
Even though they've taken, like, the majority of their days off. But the point is, their messaging's been bad. But yesterday, these 2 tweets in particular, it pissed everyone off. The first one was, we need to get Americans off the sidelines. And everyone, and I mean everyone, made fun of this. Because for starters, they don't work. The House Republicans, they do nothing. They have done nothing over the course of like 4 to 5 months. We gave them a little bit of leeway, like, okay, we just got into session, fine, we'll give you a couple weeks. But it's the middle of May. And right now, you have passed nothing. You have passed absolutely nothing of note. So, for starters, it's out of touch because you've done nothing. It's hypocritical. The majority of the days you're supposed to be working, you're off. And now you're lecturing people to get off the sidelines. Guys, you have a couple months before 2026. Does everyone know what happens in 2026? There's elections. So you are running out of time to pass anything. So this idea of, oh, lecturing Americans on trying to get them off the sidelines, for starters, that's just hypocritical, but it's stupid messaging. You're telling Americans, oh, you're lazy. You're all lazy bums. Get off the couch and get to work for 80 hours a week. Gee, I wonder why Republicans suck. Listen, you could just say, okay, we're going to work to get Americans better jobs. If you would have said that, okay, fine, whatever, that's a different story. But to ridicule Americans for being lazy and not working 80 hours a week when you can't work 1 day a week, it's just really stupid that this is the GOP messaging. But by some miracle, it gets even worse. As the tweet before this one, by some miracle, I don't know how this is possible, was even worse. As they posted, House Republicans believe in every American's potential to thrive by embracing the power of work, which again, it's the same old messaging of, oh, all these Americans are lazy. They don't work. We got to make them work in the factories for 80 hours a week. This messaging never works. All you have to say is, we are going to bring back jobs. We're going to bring back high-paying manufacturing jobs. That's all you have to say. But no, you're attacking Americans. You're saying, oh, they got to learn to work. They got to learn to work 80 hours a week. But that's not the part that everyone's talking about. Notice something about this tweet. Notice something in particular about the second half of it. It's in Spanish. I have no clue who thought this was a good idea, but for the first time in a long time, this account posted stuff in Spanish. The second one had nothing in Spanish. But this one, for some reason, they had a translation in Spanish for it. Why? Ignore the fact that seems kind of sketchy. Like, wait, why did you make this tweet have both an English and a Spanish translation? Are you targeting people that speak Spanish? Because from the looks of it, that's what happened here. They're like, oh, all these people that speak Spanish, we got to target them as well. Yeah, that's going to work real well. And you wonder why you underperformed Trump in the Central Valley of California. You wonder why you did awful in Southern Texas. Even though Trump swept everything down there, you guys barely won those seats. Actually, only won one seat down there. So you wonder why you're underperforming him everywhere. But the worst part is, they are doing the same old pandering they've done for years. For those that don't know, the Republican Party since 2012, they've had this bizarre idea of how to win over Hispanics, African-American voters, Asian voters. Their idea is not promoting good policy. No, their idea is pandering. They really believe that if you pander enough to these people, they're going to vote for you. And it hasn't worked at all. In fact, it did the opposite. Because you just pissed off your core base. It's like, why are you pandering to the Hispanic voters? They're not going to vote for you. But screw you, I'm not going to vote for you either. So you're just going to piss everyone else off. But Trump came along and proved you don't need to pander. Look at Southern Texas. Look at Florida. Look at California. Look at Arizona. Trump did great with Hispanics everywhere. And he never pandered. Not once. What he did was talk about policies that people support. He's like, we're going to secure the southern border, we're going to clean up the streets, and we're going to have mass deportations. Guess what? These voters support this stuff. Yet these morons, they really think, oh, if we pander enough by speaking in Spanish, these people will love us. No. They're going to say, you're all fakes. This pandering's not going to work. In fact, it got so bad that you have Congressman Brandon Gill, who is a great guy, who's one of the top Republicans in the House. He called this out. He said, is this a joke at House GOP? We're in America. We represent Americans. We don't pander to foreign languages. Speak English. In fact, President Trump, like 2 to 3 months ago, made English the official language of the United States. Did this majority just forget about that? Yeah, remember that? Back in March, he signed an executive order saying English is the official language. It's as if this party, they either don't care or they're so stupid that they don't even know what Trump has passed, which would explain a lot. They've passed nothing so far, and it sounds like they don't even know what he's passed, which would explain why they can't do anything because they don't know. It is stupid that this is even real, that the Republican Party is this stupid. And they should be dead as a party, but they're not going to be because guess what? They have President Trump, and the Democrat Party is so insane that people say, okay, the Republican Party, they suck, but at least the GOP is better by default. The Democrat Party's batshit crazy. But, Republicans got to wake up because Trump's not going to last forever. And who knows, maybe Democrats, they grow a brain and they realize, oh, wait, this insane stuff we're pushing is not popular. Maybe we got to change our messaging. That's the part that should make the GOP very worried. They have to wake up. They have to realize why Trump is popular, why he won 2 times, and why they're unpopular. Anyways, folks, thank you so much for watching. If you guys did enjoy, smash the like button down below, subscribe, share with your friends, and of course, join the channel today. Godspeed to all of you.